Mark, can I tell you something a little sad?
Always.
A few years ago, I was at a dinner party. Everyone there was a native English speaker, except me. And it was a funny dinner. People were telling stories, making jokes, quick back and forth. The kind of evening where the laughter never really stops.
And?
And I sat there for 2 hours, smiling, nodding, laughing politely at the right moments, and inside, I was screaming. Because in my own language, at a dinner like that, I would have been running that table. I'm funny in my own language. People laugh at the things I say. I have timing, I have stories, I have wit.
And in English at that dinner?
In English, at that dinner, I was the quiet one, the polite one, the one people probably thought was nice but a little reserved. Boring, maybe. And I went home that night and I cried, genuinely, because I felt like nobody at that table had met me. They had met some flatter, smaller, simpler version of me, the English version.
This is one of the most painful things about being a B2 or C1 learner, and almost nobody talks about it.
Nobody talks about it because it sounds dramatic when you say it out loud. I lose my personality in English. It sounds like an exaggeration, but every single advanced learner I have ever spoken to knows exactly what I mean. They have all been at their version of that dinner.
The quiet one, the polite one, the one whose real self is trapped behind a slower language.
And the cruelest part is, your friends and colleagues in English have no idea. They think that is who you are, the quiet, reserved, nice person. They have never met your actual personality. They have only met your English language personality, which is maybe 50% of who you really are.
Sometimes less.
Sometimes much less. And today, that is what we are fixing, or at least starting to fix.
Because here is what I've learned. The loss of personality in a second language is not because you are less of a person. It's not because your English is too weak. It is because of a specific, very fixable problem with the mechanics of humor and personality in conversation.
And once you understand the mechanics, you can rebuild your personality in English, piece by piece, until your English self and your native language self are finally the same person.
Welcome to Side by Side English Podcasts. I'm Speaker 1.
I'm Mark. Today's episode is for the learner who is funny, sharp, witty, and full of personality in their own language, and feels reduced, flattened, or invisible in English.
We're going to unpack why this happens and give you a specific arsenal of phrases that buy your brain time, restore your timing, and bring your personality back to the surface.
Stay with us. We have the mechanics of how humor and wit actually work in conversation and why your second language breaks them, a full toolkit of filler phrases and reaction words you can start using this week, a role play showing the same person at a dinner with and without these tools, a mistake lab on what advanced learners think makes them boring versus what actually makes them boring, and a word tour with 6 powerful B2 to C1 words.
Quick question for the comments before we begin. Have you ever felt like a flatter version of yourself in English? One sentence. We genuinely want to know that you are not alone in this.
Okay, let's talk about this honestly.
So, Speaker 1, let's start with the diagnosis. Why does this happen? Why does someone who is funny and sharp in their first language go quiet in English?
Okay, so this is not about vocabulary, this is not about grammar, this is about timing. Humor and personality both run on timing, and timing is the very first thing a second language destroys.
Explain that.
Think about how a joke works. A joke depends on the moment. You see an opening in a conversation. You have something funny to say. You have maybe 1 second, 1.5 seconds at most to say it. If you take 3 seconds, the moment is gone. The conversation has moved on. The joke doesn't land. Or worse, you say it late, and now it's just awkward.
And in your first language?
In your first language, that 1 second is plenty, because your brain produces speech without thinking. The thought arrives, the words arrive at the same time, the joke comes out in the perfect window. But in your second language...
In your second language, there's that extra processing step. The thought arrives, you translate or construct, you find the words, you arrange them, and by the time the sentence is ready, the moment is gone.
And so the joke dies in your head.
It dies in your head. You think, oh, I should have said something about that. But you said nothing because there wasn't enough time.
And this happens dozens of times in a single evening.
Dozens of times, sometimes hundreds. And so over the course of one dinner, you watch maybe 20 jokes die in your head, 20 witty observations, 20 moments where the real you wanted to come out, and none of them made it.
Which is why you leave feeling exhausted and small.
Exhausted and small, because you didn't just stay quiet. You fought to come out 20 times and lost 20 times.
This is one of the most painful and visible struggles in language learning.
And almost no one teaches you how to fix it, because it's not a grammar problem, it's not a vocabulary problem, it's a timing problem, and timing is rarely taught.
Let's go deeper, because I think there are actually 3 specific timing problems happening here, not just one.
Yes, let's break them down.
Timing problem number 1, the opening problem. You need to enter the conversation, and you don't enter fast enough. Native speakers jump in with a single sound. Oh, wait, actually, yeah, but, okay, so, and the floor is theirs. Learners hesitate, plan their first words carefully, and by the time they're ready to speak, someone else has the floor.
And when someone else has the floor, the moment for your input has passed.
Timing problem number 2, the reaction problem. In a fast conversation, native speakers react constantly, tiny reactions. No way. Oh, come on, you're kidding. Stop. Constant interjections that show personality. Learners often have no reactions at all. They listen quietly, which makes them seem disengaged, even when they're not.
And without reactions, you become invisible in the conversation. You become the wallpaper.
Timing problem number 3, the holding problem. When you do start to speak, you need words while your brain catches up. Native speakers have endless ways of filling space while they think. So, the thing is, it's kind of complicated, but basically, learners often go silent while they think, which means they lose the floor mid-sentence.
And every time you lose the floor, you stop trying to take it.
Which is exactly how a witty, sharp person becomes a quiet observer in English.
3 specific timing failures, 3 solvable problems. And once you fix them, your personality starts to reappear.
Because, and this is so important to say, your personality didn't go anywhere. It was always there. It was just trapped behind a slower processing speed. The personality is fine. The mechanics need work.
And the mechanics, that is what we are fixing today.
Okay, so the solution is built around something I call the personality arsenal, a set of specific phrases that solve all 3 timing problems.
And the beauty of this arsenal is these phrases are easy. They are short. They are not complex grammar. Any B1 learner can say them, but almost no learners actually use them, which is why they sound flat even at C1.
Let's go through the categories.
Category 1. Entry phrases. These are short sounds and phrases that let you jump into a conversation in under 1 second. They buy you the floor before you even know what you're going to say.
Give us examples.
Wait. Oh, actually, hold on. No. Yeah, but, okay, so, right, but, honestly.
And these are the verbal equivalent of putting your hand up.
Exactly. The moment you say, wait, everyone at the table knows you have something to say. They pause, they look at you, the floor is yours, and now you have 3 or 4 seconds to actually figure out what you wanted to say.
3 or 4 seconds is enormous compared to 1 second. 3 seconds is a different universe. It's the difference between making the joke and missing it.
And these entry phrases, let's be clear, are extremely common. Native speakers use them constantly. They're not tricks, they are how real conversation actually works.
Native speakers almost never start a sentence cold. There's almost always a small entry sound first. Oh, so, yeah, right. Listen to any real conversation. You'll hear these everywhere.
And learners often skip them because in textbooks, sentences start cleanly. I think the project is good. But real speech is, honestly, I think the project is solid.
Yes, the honestly, the yeah, I think, these are entry tools. They give the speaker space.
Okay, category 2, reaction words. This is where personality really shows up.
Reaction words are how you make the other person feel heard and how you signal who you are, the kind of personality you have, your warmth, your skepticism, your humor, your surprise.
Let's go through some.
For surprise, no way. Are you serious? You're kidding. Get out. Shut up. Wait, what? Hang on.
For agreement. Totally. 100%. Same. Exactly. Tell me about it. Right? For real.
For doubt, I don't know. Are you sure? Really? Come on. Seriously?
For amusement. That's hilarious. Oh, God. Stop it. I love that. That's gold. That's so good.
For empathy, oh no, that's rough. Ouch. Oh, that's the worst. I'm so sorry. Oh, that hurts.
And these reaction words are tiny. 2, 3, 4 words at most, but they completely transform how present you are in a conversation.
They are the equivalent of nodding, but with personality.
Yes, that's a perfect way to put it. They're nodding with personality.
And without reaction words, you can be a perfect English speaker and still seem cold, distant, quiet, boring, even if you're warm and lively inside.
Because the warmth isn't reaching the other person. They can't see your face if you're not reacting verbally.
Exactly. And once you start using reaction words, your warmth, your engagement, your humor, they finally make it across.
Category 3, time-buying phrases. The phrases that fill the space while your brain catches up.
This is the most powerful category for advanced learners because it solves the holding problem. You start speaking before you know exactly what you're going to say, and the phrase carries you while your brain finishes loading the rest.
Examples?
I mean, the thing is, it's kind of hard to explain, but you know what? Honestly, I was just thinking about this actually. Okay, so here's the thing. It's complicated, but basically, I want to say, let me think how to put this.
And these phrases are gold because they are full sentences that mean almost nothing, but they hold your turn while you think.
Right. I mean, the thing is, has no content, but it gives you another 2 seconds to think. And in 2 seconds, your brain can find the rest of the sentence.
And native speakers use these constantly. They are not signs of weak English. They are signs of natural English.
Yes, this is so important. Many learners think they should speak in clean, complete, well-formed sentences. They look at these time-buying phrases as messy or unprofessional, so they avoid them.
And then they go silent mid-thought because they had no bridges.
Right. The silence sounds worse than the time-buying phrases. Silence makes you seem lost. A natural, the thing is, makes you sound thoughtful.
Same speaker, same delay, completely different impression.
Category 4, humor signals. And this is where personality really comes through. These are phrases that frame what you're saying as funny, ironic, or playful, so the listener knows how to receive it.
Tell us.
Okay, this is going to sound weird, but I can't believe I'm telling you this, so picture this. And here's the best part. Plot twist. This is the part where it gets ridiculous. And you're going to love this.
These are setup phrases. They tell the listener something funny is coming. Get ready.
Yes, and in your first language, you do this automatically through tone of voice, facial expression, body language. But in a second language, your tone and body language are often less expressive because you're concentrating on the words.
And so the humor doesn't read.
The humor doesn't read. Even when you say something genuinely funny, without these setup phrases, the listener might miss that it was supposed to be a joke, and so they don't laugh, and you feel like your humor failed.
When actually your humor was fine, you just didn't signal it.
Right. These humor signals are your way of holding up a sign that says, this is a joke, so the listener is ready to laugh.
Category 5, and this is my favorite, callback phrases.
Oh, yes.
Callbacks are when you reference something that happened earlier in the conversation, even 15 minutes earlier. Hey, like you were saying earlier about the rain, or, okay, this is connected to what Sarah said about our boss.
And callbacks are the purest form of conversational personality. They show you were listening. They show you remembered. They build inside jokes. They create momentum.
And almost no learners do them because callbacks require you to be tracking the whole conversation while also producing your own English, which is a lot to do at once.
Right. So learners usually focus only on the current sentence and miss the bigger thread.
And the way to start doing callbacks is pick one thing earlier in the conversation, just one, and find a way to reference it later.
And once you do that, the whole conversation lights up because suddenly you're a participant, not a passenger.
Okay, let's do a role play.
Speaker 1, let's do the same dinner scene twice. First, you without the personality arsenal, then you with it, so learners can hear the transformation.
Yes, let's do it. Set the scene.
Okay, we're at a casual dinner. Imagine 3 or 4 friends. I'm telling a story. So yesterday, I got on the train and there was a guy in the seat next to me, fully eating a roast chicken. Like full chicken, knife, fork, everything.
Oh, that is interesting. Yes, that is strange. Chicken on the train is unusual.
Okay, notice what just happened. The story was funny. Speaker 1's response was correct English, polite, grammatical, and completely flat. The energy died.
Right. I just confirmed what you said. I didn't react. I didn't add. I didn't bring myself in.
Now do version 2, with the arsenal.
Wait. What? A whole chicken? No way. Like, was he just casually eating it or did he have a plate? Oh my God. Okay, this is exactly the kind of thing that only happens to you, Mark, honestly. Last week, I was on the same train line and a woman was clipping her nails next to me. Not even joking. So, like, what is happening on that train?
And just listen to the difference. You entered immediately. Wait, what? You reacted. No way. You bought time. Like, was he just... You connected. This is exactly the kind of thing that you called back to my history. Only happens to you, Mark. You added your own story. Last week, I was on the same train line. And then you closed with a question that kept the energy going. What is happening on that train?
And every single one of those is using a phrase from the arsenal. Wait, what? No way. Like, was? Oh my God. Honestly, not even joking. So like 8 tiny phrases. Tiny.
And they completely transformed you from polite, quiet dinner guest to the funny one at the table.
Same English level, same grammar, same vocabulary. The only thing different was the use of arsenal phrases.
This is the secret. Personality in English is engineered through these small phrases. They are not natural talent. They are not magic. They are learnable.
Every native speaker uses them. Most learners don't. Once you do, your personality finally has a door to walk through.
Okay, mistake lab time. But this one is different. We're going to look at what advanced learners think is making them boring in English and what actually is making them boring in English.
Yes, because most learners are diagnosing the wrong problem, and so they're trying to fix the wrong thing.
Wrong diagnosis 1. I need bigger vocabulary.
Many learners think if I just had more sophisticated words, I'd be funnier and more interesting. So they study advanced vocabulary and their conversations stay just as flat because vocabulary isn't the problem. Engagement is.
A small vocabulary used with strong personality is much more charismatic than a huge vocabulary used flatly.
Right. Fix, stop adding vocabulary. Start adding reaction words and entry phrases. They are tiny, they are simple, but they change everything.
Wrong diagnosis 2. I need to be more grammatically perfect.
Learners think their humor is dying because they're afraid of making mistakes. So they slow down, make every sentence careful, avoid risk. And in doing so, they kill spontaneity.
And spontaneity is personality.
Spontaneity is personality. Fix, accept small mistakes. Speak faster with arsenal phrases, with imperfect grammar. A few small errors in a lively, warm sentence is much more memorable than a grammatically perfect, slow, careful sentence.
And wrong diagnosis 3. I'm just not funny in English.
This is the most painful one because learners start to believe it. They start to think their personality just doesn't translate, and so they stop trying.
Fix. Your personality didn't change. Your tools changed. You don't need a new personality. You need new tools to express the same personality.
Wrong diagnosis 4. I need to speak more like a native speaker.
Learners often try to copy native speakers' style, slang, accent, and in doing so, they lose their own voice.
The goal isn't to become an English-speaking native. The goal is to become yourself in English, with your humor, your worldview, your stories translated into a working set of tools.
Your accent, your cultural background, your unique observations, these are not weaknesses. They are what makes you interesting. You just need the conversational mechanics to deliver them.
Wrong diagnosis 5. I need to memorize more idioms.
Many learners think, if I just used cool idioms, I'd sound more native. So they memorize idioms, and then they use them awkwardly or in the wrong moment, and the conversation gets even weirder.
Idioms used in the wrong context sound more foreign than not using them at all. Fix, drop the idioms, master the arsenal. The arsenal is more powerful than any idiom, and it works in every situation.
And the meta lesson across all 5 mistakes.
The meta lesson is you are not the problem. Your English level is not the problem. The toolkit you've been using is the problem, and the toolkit is fixable. The arsenal is learnable. Your personality is already there waiting.
Word tour.
Word tour. First word, witty. To be witty means to be quick, clever, and amusing in speech. It's a specific kind of humor, not big or loud, but sharp and observational. A wonderful word for describing the kind of personality this episode is about.
For example, she's genuinely witty in her own language, but in English, the witty version of her is still finding its voice. Or he had a quiet, witty way of commenting on things that made everyone in the room enjoy his company. Repeat, witty.
Witty.
Next, to come across as. This is a phrasal verb meaning to give a particular impression, to seem like a certain way to other people. It's incredibly useful and you'll hear it constantly in real English.
For example, advanced learners often come across as quieter than they really are, not because they have nothing to say, but because their tools are slower. Or, he came across as cold at first, but he was just thinking carefully before he spoke. Repeat, come across as.
Come across as. Next, to engage. To engage with someone means to actively connect, participate, or interact. It's a sophisticated, useful verb, and it appears constantly in conversations about relationships, work, and communication.
For example, reaction words are tiny phrases, but they completely change how engaged you appear in a conversation. Or, she struggled to engage with the group at first, but once she found the rhythm, she became one of the most active speakers. Repeat, engage.
Engage. Next, a setup. A setup is the preparation that comes before something, especially before a joke, a story, or a punchline. In comedy, the setup is what makes the punchline land. The word is used in many other contexts too, but the conversational one is essential.
For example, a good setup is half the joke. Without it, even the funniest punchline can fall flat. Or, she had a way of giving such a strong setup that you were already laughing before the actual joke arrived. Repeat, setup.
Setup. Next, to land. We use land metaphorically for jokes, stories, and statements. When something lands, if it succeeds, it has the effect you wanted. When something doesn't land, it falls flat. Powerful, modern, everyday English.
For example, a joke only lands if you give it the right setup and the right timing. Without those, even great material falls flat. Or, her comment really landed with the team. You could see them thinking about it for days afterwards. Repeat, land.
Land. And finally, to flatten. To flatten something is to make it less alive, less three-dimensional, less rich. It's a beautiful, expressive verb that captures exactly what happens to personality in a second language.
For example, speaking a second language without the right conversational tools can flatten your personality in ways that don't reflect who you really are. Or, she felt the move had flattened her social life. She was meeting fewer interesting people and saying less interesting things. Repeat, flatten.
Flatten. 6 words today. Witty, come across as, engage, set up, land, and flatten. And every one of these are real, useful, modern English words. You'll hear them in podcasts, conversations, articles, and TV shows. They make your English sound alive.
And bonus, these are exactly the kinds of words that signal you're not just translating from your first language, you're living in English.
Speaker 1, if there is one thing you want every person watching to take away from this episode, what is it?
That you didn't lose your personality. Your personality is fine. It's exactly where it has always been. What you lost was the tools to express it in a second language, and tools can be rebuilt.
And once you have the tools, the warmth, the humor, the timing, the wit, they all come back, sometimes more powerfully than before, because now you're operating in 2 languages instead of 1.
Right. You are not a smaller person in English. You are the same person with a temporarily smaller toolkit. The personality is the human being. The toolkit is just the toolkit.
And every entry phrase, every reaction word, every time buyer, every humor signal, every callback, these are all tools you're adding to your kit.
And the more tools you add, the more of your real self comes through, until one day, and it does happen, your friends and colleagues in English finally meet the real you. Not the polite version, not the quiet version, the actual you.
And that is one of the most beautiful moments in language learning, the moment when the real you finally walks into the English room.
Small challenge before we go. For the next 7 days, pick 3 phrases from the arsenal, just 3. Maybe 1 entry phrase, 1 reaction word, 1 time buyer. Don't try to learn the whole list at once, just 3.
And use them deliberately in every English conversation you have for a week. Force yourself to say them, even when it feels unnatural.
Because after a week, they stop feeling unnatural. They become yours. And then you can add 3 more, and then 3 more, and slowly your arsenal grows.
And 1 year from now, you will not recognize the person you are in English because they will sound, finally, like you.
Drop a comment. Tell us, which 3 phrases did you pick? We genuinely want to know. And come back in a week and tell us what changed.
Because you are funnier than your English currently shows. We promise.
I'm Masane.
I'm Mark. Thank you for sharing this one with us. It's a personal one.
Take care of your personality. Bring it with you into English. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.